For this recipe, you need mayonnaise, pickled relish, salt and pepper, Dijon mustard and chopped onions, and black sesame seeds are all optional. Cans of tuna, drained, and the equivalence of about a cup of mayonnaise. Tuna already comes, they also come flaked already, but the ones I have are not, so I'm flaking it. Oh, just calculate your mayonnaise. Wait, let me get this out. Yeah, that would amount to one, maybe two. Each scoop I made is about the equivalent of two of this one. So just calculate, and then I'm adding a little more. And you can check if that's enough. This is very forgiving. So like I said, the mayonnaise I put here, every scoop was the equivalence of two of this. So I added a little more. Maybe you should not add the little more that I did. It's a little bit, you know, it's still a little pasty, but I mean spreading consistency still. But when I add the pickled relish and you know, the other ingredients, well, I only have pickled relish, that's right. This could make it a little watery, so you just make your adjustments with the mayonnaise. Just a dash of pepper and garlic, just maybe a dash or two. That's the equivalence, I think, of 2 dashes. And then now the pickled relish, you can, this is a tablespoon. Let's begin with maybe 3 tablespoons. This will make it a little thinner, you know, liquidy kind of thing. Oops. And then I use a fork, very sophisticated. Haha. I think we could use maybe 2 more tablespoons of pickled relish. Like I said, you can add this one, Dijon mustard, honey Dijon mustard, but it's an option, you know. I didn't put chopped onions, I usually do, but I'm giving my daughter some, and I don't think she's very crazy about onions, so I think this is fine. Like I said, you know, it depends on you. This is very forgiving and very straightforward, very simple. I have an appointment today, and I'm doing this just before the appointment, so this is very quick. Okay. At this point, you can taste. You know, if to me, salt is fine, but you can adjust your taste with this for the salt. And then I give it a good mix. little elbow grease here. Perfect. Okay, this is the consistency of it. See, it's a little thicker now, but spreading consistency. Like I said, this is very forgiving. This is a very basic recipe of a tuna sandwich. You can add chopped onions. You can, like I said earlier, you can add Dijon mustard. This is honey Dijon, and I even add sesame seeds. But I have a finicky daughter, so I am not sure if she really likes it. So anyway, I have made this before, and only once with sesame seeds, and I think one of my members of my family didn't like it. I can't remember who. So to be safe, I'm not adding sesame seeds, black sesame seeds. I hope you like this recipe. This is how much the tuna spread made. So that much and this much. So this is from my daughter to take home. My son is not crazy about mayonnaise. He doesn't want anything with mayonnaise. So he's not getting any. And this is for here, for my home. For my husband, actually. And this one, and this one is mine. Oh, what? It's already on. Why? What are you doing here? You're gonna have endoscopy.
I'm gonna have an endoscopy.
Oh. You have a couple hours at least.
I will do it.
Let me share with you a short story of the events that led up to Tom's coronary bypass surgery and how his life has been like since. Hi, this would be Tom's 6th endoscopy since he had a coronary bypass surgery on December 9th, 2011. Months before the surgery, I had already begun to notice the change in his color. He looked more and more pale and at times grayish. Even his lips now and then would look purplish. I had already been pushing him to see a doctor, but his response to me was always, "I feel okay." On December 7th, it rained hard on his way to work. It was still raining when he got to work, so after he parked his car, he dashed to the building where he worked.
When he got inside, he started to not feel right. He was feeling some tightness in his chest and a little pain just below his collarbone. Um, he rested for a while and he began to feel better. But his co-workers told him he was pale, so he had better see a doctor. So he did. He went to the walk-in clinic. The doctor ordered some tests. Everything came out normal. A protein called troponin that shows up in the blood when a person has had a heart attack didn't show up either. But the good doctor was not taking any chances, so he scheduled Tom for a treadmill the next day. December 8th, the next day, Tom was on a treadmill. But 4 minutes into it, he told the nurse he couldn't go on anymore. The treadmill was stopped. While he was being helped out of it, his heart went wild and the needle went off the chart. In his words, the doctor said that Tom's heart was running wild and trying to have a heart attack. Those were his words. He was given 1 nitroglycerin sublingual, 0.4 milligram. That was not enough, but he had to wait 5 minutes before he could be given another one. That second one worked. Later, the doctor said that Tom had a very good heart. He was ordered to have an angioplasty. We checked in the hospital and waited in the lobby of the cardio unit while Tom had an angioplasty. After what seemed like several hours, the cardiologist came to us to bring the news that they could not put in the stents because Tom had 3 major arteries and 2 minor arteries that were almost 98% clogged. Tom would be scheduled to have an emergency coronary bypass surgery first thing in the morning. The morning of the surgery came. I stayed with Tom in the prep room until he was wheeled to surgery. I was given a buzzer. I was instructed that when it buzzed, I would go to a designated room with a phone I could use when the doctor called. My kids and I headed to the lobby of the cardio unit and began our wait. It would be the start of a grueling 8-hour cycle of prayer, hope, fear, and everything in between. The hours were long. I found myself going over my life and Tom's together. How it all began for the two of us and where it had taken us. We had 4 kids. 2 were taken from us so early. We have 5 grandkids that we love so very dearly. I was so immersed in that moment that I failed to hear my buzzer. The 8 hours that seemed like forever had already passed. A lady called out my name to say that the doctor was on the phone to talk to me. All of a sudden, fear, like a dart that came from nowhere, hit me. It was time to hear the news. Was it good or bad? Either one, I had to hear it. On the phone, the doctor asked me Tom's date of birth for verification. After I gave it to him, he spoke again. He said, "There were no surprises. There would be Tom will be taken to his room and will be set up there, and then you may see him. And there would be no words spoken to me that day more beautiful than those words I just heard. In the evening of the 13th of December, 4 days after the surgery, Tom was allowed to go home. It was his birthday the next day. He wanted to celebrate it at home, not in the hospital. For my part, I wanted so much to know what kind of dietary intervention I could learn specific to his health condition. I found just the right class through Coursera, a class offered by the University of California, San Francisco, which is Nutrition for Health Promotion and Disease Prevention. I learned a lot more than what I already knew. It has helped put my mind at ease preparing our meals each day. Tom is not taking very well to blood thinner or anticoagulant medication. He has had to deal with bleeding ulcers that usually require a day or two of hospital stay. However, he has been put on medication that will help prevent the recurrence of a bleeding ulcer. The result of this endoscopy that he is about to have now showed that the ulcer is almost completely healed. Other than that, life goes on for him, and here is why. Since his surgery, he built this mini park for our grandkids to enjoy. Here are Katie and Lily when they were younger, with my brother when he came to visit. Is it already doing it?
Well, if you press, you'll see a blinking light or something.
The thing there is, there's a red, oh yeah, it's recording supposedly.
Hey, me, not that.
Not that! Really?
Take a picture of Tito Boy, not the fountain, silly girl.
That's ridiculous.
Okay. Oh, come here.
Oh, can I have my phone back? Thank you. I'm dying to play on my phone. You're like a texter.
Lola Boy's calling you.
Yes. I'm dying to play on my phone.
Come here. Take some pictures.
Are you gonna have selfie? Who's gonna take pictures? Ako? Ako? Zoom!
Pics.
Selfie!
He also built me a studio, all by himself, believe it or not. Here are my daughter and her daughter Katie showing it off. And that roofed part of our deck, the gazebo, he built that too.
Okay, your face. Show your face.
Yeah.
One,
Yeah.
Caitlin, here.
Buwan ng ano.
1, 2, 3.
Nang ano?
Thank you.
Nang alin?
In this next clip, we had already been called to surgery, and Tom is already through with his endoscopy. So here he is now recovering, and we would be taking him home.
There's Tom.
So
Recovering.
to stretch my esophagus.
Ang stretch niya is para when you're eating, you're swallowing, you're not having a hard time because she had such a tiny, what do you call it? Stretched it.
Yeah, that's what she said she was going to do the last time.
So she says you may, when you swallow, feel soreness. Depends. It depends on people, and it'll last about a couple of days.
I got my cough, so
Today? Oh, what was the reading?
138 over
It didn't change. Remember, you have your sandwich with me.
Yep. They'll be bringing me some salt and crackers and coffee.
Wonder drug, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Come on.
YouTube. You're gonna be on YouTube. All over. Oh, sorry, Tom. I dropped the sandwich. Too bad. Here.
Okay.
Here, you can have
As
it.
long as you don't
Here you are.
not stump.
Hey!
Dad, ayun na yung sandwich
Do you want it or not?
My dear.
Oh, talaga.
Why?
We're driving home now.
Oh, you can lower that.
That's
too.
okay.
Same control.
Ayan lang eh. Ganun din ang dali ko gagamitin.